Alright, so doing this outside, watching my kids. Sorry, video. So if you see me pause or you hear the kids, just ignore it. Just wanted you to see some of the work done. I had questions on 7, 11, and 15. Okay, so those are questions somebody actually said, I need help on these, instead of, I don't know what's going on. They actually asked a question. So, where's my note? What can I write on here? What's this? Oh, okay. This is different. This is kind of nice. But I kind of want a note. Where's my note? So create a note. There. Where are you? Okay. Did they update the system and make this harder to use? Alright, let's see here. Create note. Nope. I'm betting I have a ton of notes somewhere. Let me see here. Let me see if I can find the original file. So, close all. This is going to be under Office Lens, I think. So, I've done a lot under Office Lens. Let's see here. Here we go. PDF viewer. Might be able to make the note now. Well, review notes. There we go. Clear all this garbage. Don't know why it was working yesterday just fine. Some notes. Let's see here. Let's see if we can do it on Word. Maybe that'll help. Okay. Oh, thanks. Dismiss. There we go. Finally it popped up. Okay. I just need this little thing so I can write. There we go. Alright. So, here, we'll just start with number 7. Alright, so here what I'm going to do is I want to use X. I'm going to use this X to get rid of these two. Oh, good. Zoomed in for me. Now, I could use this negative Y to get rid of these two. So, it doesn't really matter which one I do. Okay? And again, I wish I could ask, which one do you want to do? Just show you. So, I'm going to, in fact, I'm just going to use Y, because I just have to multiply this by 2, and I can get rid of these two, because it seems the easiest to do. So, for the top one, I'm going to multiply this row by 2. So it's going to be 2 times 4x minus y plus 2z equals 11. And that's going to give me 8x minus 2y plus 4z equals 22. Okay? Now I'm going to bring down this equation. Come back here. I want you to zoom in. Which is x plus 2y minus... Alright, equals negative 1. Alright, give me a second. Alright, now, Crisis, I've already Buster, get down. Don't? Yeah, he's getting your pretzels. Alright. Yeah, he wanted to get your pretzels. Alright, so we're going to add these together. And that's going to add this. This is a 1, so 9x. That cancels. The whole point of that is cancels. Plus 3y equals 21. Now, if you notice that everything is a multiple of 3, we could go ahead and just divide everything by 3. It might make it easier. So, dividing everything by 3. And again, you can do this anytime you want. If you notice an entire row has a multiple, divide everything by it. Simplify it. Okay? So, 3x plus 1y equals 7. That's easier. All right, so that's one equation. We're going to come back to that in a second. We're going to take that multiple here, the 8x minus 2y plus 4. We're going to take this again. All right, let's see if I can change color here. All right, so we're going to take this equation again, and we're going to add this row, this bottom row to it. And I keep tapping on it like it's going to do something. All right, so that's 8x minus 2y plus 4. Oh, it should be a z. Oops, that's a z. So 8x minus 2y plus 4z equals 22. And we're going to add that to 2x plus 2y minus 3z equals negative 1. So we add this together, we get 10x plus z equals 21. So we have our two equations. We have 3x plus 1y equals 7. And this should be a z. I don't know why I'm putting y here. Sorry. You're probably just confused. Where'd the y come from? Okay. So that's a z. And that's a z. So that's probably what we're going to cancel out. Cancel out the z's. In fact, I'm going to distribute a negative 1 through this so I can cancel out the z's. So that's going to give me negative 3x minus 1z equals negative 7. So when I add everything down, that's going to give me 7x is equal to 14. Which means x is equal to 2. And I don't know what I did. So x equal 2. Now I'm going to plug that back in one of these. Let's say I plug it back into this top one. Let's fall for z. So 10 times 2 plus z is equal to 21, which means 20 plus z equals 21. So z is 1. All right. So if x is 2, z is 1, and I'm going to pick one of my equations right here. In fact, I'll probably just say this middle equation. So that gives, and I'll delete this so we can start over. So we have x plus 2y minus z is equal to negative 1. And we know x is 2. So 2 plus 2y minus a 1z minus 1 is equal to negative 1. So it's going to give us 2... Stop pressing buttons. 2... What's it called? Okay, 2y plus 1 equals negative 1. Subtract 1 over 2y equals negative 2. Y equals negative 1. So we have 2, negative 1, 1. That is our final solution for number 7. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this over again, but I'm going to solve for a different variable. Just to show you, I'm going to get the same answers. Doesn't matter which one I solve for. So I'm going to do this over again. So I'm going to clear everything here. All right. Yep, that was a recycle bin. Yep, we recycle. Sorry. So again, I'm just clearing this out so I can do this again with a different variable. Okay, so it says getting rid of y first, I'm going to get rid of x first. Okay, so to get rid of x, let's say I'm going to take this row, this middle row, and I keep doing that. I want to click, like click, 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 press the screen. So I'm going to take this row here and multiply it by negative 2 to get rid of that x here. So that's going to be negative 2 times x plus 2y minus z equals negative 1. So that's going to give you negative 2x minus 4y plus 2z is equal to positive 2 now. So I'm going to add that to this equation, the 2x plus 2y minus 3z equals negative 1. So I'm going to add 2x plus 2y minus 3z equals negative 1. That's going to cancel out the x's here, this whole point. And we have negative 2y minus 1z equals 1. Okay, that's not bad. So, got Sweetie scored him. Scored him. Make sure. There you go. Only when he gets you, okay? Only when he starts messing with you. Alright. Okay. So we have, so again, I'm going to take this equation and multiply it by -4. Let's change this to blue. All right. So we have -4 times x plus 2y minus z equals -1. I was just going to give us -4x minus 8y plus 4z equals 4, and I'm going to add that to that top equation. 4x minus 1y plus 2z is equal to 11. So that's going to cancel. -9y plus 6z equals 15. Again, notice everything's a multiple of 3. So I can, that's not 15, okay. 15, everything's a multiple of 3. So yeah, I can divide everything by 3 again. Just happens to work out. It probably won't happen again on any other question. But just in case, if you ever see they're all multiples, simplify it. So -3y plus 2z equals 5. So I'm going to bring down this equation. -2y minus 1z equals 1. So that's what I'm going to be dealing with now. And I got to solve for one of these. Now, again, what I want to do is probably pick the easiest one, which is the z's. Okay, I'm going to get rid of the z's first, solve for y first. So that means I'm going to multiply this row by 2, so I get a -2z. And that's a 2, not a z. Let me change that. So 2. So I'm going to bring everything down. Okay. I don't know what those lines represent, but we'll say they represent something. Alright. So bring everything down. That'll give me -3y plus 2z equals 5. -4y minus 2z equals 2. So this is going to give me -7y, if I add these together. Z's cancel, equals 7, which means y equals -1, which is the same answer we got last time. Okay? So I'm going to plug that back in. Let's say I plug it into the top equation. -3 times -1 plus 2z equals 5. Sorry, thought I had more room. All right. So it gives you 3 plus 2z equals 5. Subtract 3. 2z equals 2. So z is equal to 1. So again, we have, don't know x. We know it's 2, but we don't know it. Technically, we don't know it. -1 and 1. Okay, so we're going to plug these back in. Let's say we plug it into the top equation, or the middle equation, because x has a coefficient of 1. That makes it easier. So x minus 2 times, or plus 2 times -1 minus 1 equals -1. So x, well, minus 2 in this case. Minus 2 minus 1 equals -1. X minus 3 equals -1. Add 3 over. X equals 2. So see, it doesn't matter which one you solve for. So it doesn't matter which one you solve for. You'll still get the same answer. Okay? But I'll let you know, these are really easy to make mistakes on. Okay? Because you make one little tiny mistake, one little addition error, subtraction error, multiplication error. Okay, one little tiny mistake, you can't solve it. It becomes unsolvable. Okay? So, we're going to look at the next one, number 11 and the number 15. Okay? So, alright, let me, I don't know if I can, what's this no, transparency, I don't want that. See if I can clear, okay. Nope, I can't, so. It's like using the, it's the best dry erase board ever. I don't get all the stuff on my hands. So, alright. So, we're going to move on to number, what, 11 was it? I think it was. Alright. Very similar concept, okay? So, I could use this y to get rid of these. I can use this z to get rid of these, or this x to get rid of these. Let's get rid of z first this time. Let's change it up. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to try to stop double-clicking on the page so it stops doing that. But I make absolutely no promises. Okay. Alright, so let's get rid of z. So I'm going to multiply this middle row by -1, because it's a 0 here, it makes it easier, and everything's pretty easy. So -1 times x plus 2, 2y minus 1z equals 0. That's going to give me negative 1x minus 2y plus 1z equals 0. And I'm going to bring down this bottom equation over. So 4x minus 1y minus 1z equals 6. So when I add together, I get 3x minus 3y. That cancels, equals 6. And guess what? Everything is a multiple of 3, so I can divide, stop it, by 3 again. I don't know why none of the ones on the PowerPoint did this, but these do this quite a bit, apparently. So that gives you 1x minus 1y equals 2. That's going to make it easy to solve for. Alright, so I'm going to use this middle z again to get rid of that 3. So I'm going to multiply this middle row by 3. Okay, so I'll circle this so you remember it. Let's go to red ink.
Can you read the white like this?
So multiply by 3, so I can cancel out the z's. So it's 3 times x plus 2y minus z, minus 1z, equals 0 again. Guys, stop over here, okay? Not over here. Alright, not over here. Go out there if you want to play. Sorry. Being a dad, and they're playing with water guns near my tablet. Not again. Not again. Alright, I'm going to be a dad one more time. Alright, back from being a parent to being a teacher. So multiply by 3, that's 3x plus 6y minus 3z is equal to 0. So again, the whole point is, so when I, where'd it go? When I add this top row, 2x minus 4y plus 3z equals 17, the z's cancel out. So it gives me 5x minus 2y, plus 2y equals 17. So nothing reduces here, but fortunately we have a really easy one. We have 1, negative 1, and since my y is already 2, and this is already negative, I'm going to choose y. So I'm going to multiply this by 2, so I can cancel out the y's. So it's going to give me 2x minus 2y equals 4. So when I add these together, 7x equals 21, which means x equals 3. So let's plug that into this equation because it's really easy to solve for that equation. So it gives you 1 times 3 minus 1y equals 2. You want more? Okay, I'll give you more in a little bit, okay? So we get 3 minus y equals 2. Minus 3, negative y equals negative 1. Dividing by negative 1, we'll get y equals 1. So we have x is 3, y is 1. We're going to pick one of these equations. Since this is 11, let's say, well, this one, the one that equals 0, seems to be pretty easy. So that gives you x plus 2y minus z equals 0. Alright, so we have 3 plus 2 times 1 minus z equals 0. So 5 minus z equals 0. If I just add z over, I get 5 is equal to z.
Yeah? You have to take that shirt off, I see.
Alright. Alright, now 15. Yeah, that one's kind of fun. So let's look at 15. I'm just going to scroll down. I'm just going to keep scrolling down and see if I may run out of room, so let me delete this. I hope some of you back there are going to be saying the things that I always hear. You make it look so easy. Because you're right, I do. I'm trying to get my wife to roll her eyes at me. Alright. Here we have x plus y equals negative 4. And here we have y minus z equals 1. And then 2x plus y. Alright, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use this top equation to get rid of that x. So I just have y and z. Okay? I could use this middle equation to get rid of z, so I have x and y. It's fine, either way. I mean, I could use y and get rid of all of these y's, but there's really no point in that. Okay? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to erase this. So I'm going to use this top equation to get rid of that. So I'm going to need to multiply this top equation by -2. That way I have the opposite sign but same number. So x plus y equals -4 times -2 is -2x minus 2y. Don't have any z's. Equals -8 or +8. Alright. We're going to add that to 2x plus 1y plus 3z equals -21. That cancels. -1y plus 3z is equal to -13. That looks like fun. So we have the other equation. Just going to bring this other one over. +1y minus z, minus 1z, equals 1. Okay? So that means when I add these equations together, because I already have the same number and opposite sign, the y's cancel out. That's going to give you 2z is equal to -13, so z is equal to -6. So I'm going to plug that into this middle equation. Y minus a -6 equals 1, so y plus 6, that's a 6. I got numbers. 6 equals 1. So subtract 6, we get y equals -5. So we have, don't know x, y is -5, z is -6.
Well,
You can't leave the table,
can't
Hadley.
leave the table with your food.
Alright, so we have x plus y equals -4. We're going to plug this -5 in, so x plus -5 equals -4. Add 5, x is equal to 1. Alright, and you can, if you want to check, plug that into that bottom equation. That's going to give you 2 minus 5 plus a -18 equals -21. So 2 minus 5 is -3. -3 plus a -18 does equal -21. So this does work. I hope it answers some of your questions on the homework. I will be posting a new lesson either today or tomorrow for the last 2 parts of Chapter 5.
Yep.
Are you going to say, hey, Tucker? Tucker's a big fan of math, so he's been sitting here this whole time just riveted. It's my boy here. All right. So...